morning, friends. Welcome to that 1870s homestead. My name's Rachel, and today we're just getting a bunch of stuff done. I need to get in the garage and get my hedge trimmers because we're first and foremost, one of the fastest things I need to try to get done today is pruning, I should say. Oh, where'd the stroller go? I tried to do it with my grandson the other day, and he didn't last that long. So the pruners are in the basket of the stroller. Well, they were. Dad must have moved them. Ooh. Okay, anyway, I found them. Alrighty. And for the first time ever, we're going to try to properly manage the peaches and the apples. I'll tell you more when we get out there. It's supposed to be spring. Some days it feels like spring. Some days it's cold. Right now I had a jacket on earlier, taking care of the chickens, and I had to go in and change because it's windy. But you guys want to see something absolutely despicable and help you feel a little bit better about yourself, where you are in life? It's always nice when somebody shows us their closets. And I call this my homestead closet. My garden shed is a disaster. Always is, always is. I can't manage this thing to save my life. And during the fall and winter, after everything gets shut down outside, this becomes just, have you ever seen those reels where it's the ladies leaving their husbands surprises and it's this pile of cardboard boxes? So, okay, the test is done. But anyway, the ladies throw the boxes in the cardboard garage, and sorry if it's sexist to anyone, it shouldn't be because that is me too. But I throw cardboard boxes on the porch. I'll then collapse them down, but then they get thrown in here. And so it's a disaster. I got to get to the back. I'm not even going to try to take you guys in there with me. It is an episode of Hoarders for sure. Not even joking. It's so bad. That's a plow with a crate, lawnmower bag, lawnmower, fencing torn out of the garden, and then the pile of cardboard starts. And I got to get back to that shelf back there. So why don't you guys come along for a laugh? First, go between, step over the bag of Pro Mix. Don't step on that pot. Go through the jungle of cardboard. Lean, because the other stuff's in your way, to get what you need to get. And the other day I had to get back in that back corner because that's where my lime was for the chickens. And I was just cracking up trying to get in there. And it's like my space and I'm supposed to manage it. And it's not just my stuff, it's tools and it's a lot. It's overwhelming. And when I get overwhelmed, we close the doors and we pretend it doesn't exist. We have pears, apples, peaches, a cherry, pecans, blueberries, and grape. And we planted these the year we moved in, so it's going on the year 8 of growing season. And pears do great. No problem. We're in southeast Michigan. No problem. Never had a problem. Great harvest for the last probably 4 years. Apples, they will produce apples, not abundantly by any means, but they're always really spotted and distorted in shape and size. And that's from something getting at them. Whether it's a fungus or insects, peaches, I've had one harvest, and Todd and I were actually laughing trying to count how many times we've planted peach trees back here. And I would say we could be pushing like the 6 count. We end up losing them. They just either don't take off or they get a fungus and they die. And I've only ever had one peach harvest. So I've never done anything to manage it other than prune it. So what we're going to be doing today is spraying on this copper fungicide. And I've had this in that garden shed for 2 years. And just, it's always a busy season this time of year with starting seeds and all that. I'm not doing that this year. We're probably going to be mostly buying starts. It's just, I got a lot of other busyness going on in the house with watching a grandson twice a week, all day, and just other priorities. So, and that's okay. You know, seasons in life change in what you're doing. So, I'm not going to show this because I think our orchard videos don't like necessarily do great as like standalone videos, but I wanted to let you guys know if you're following along and you have orchard what I'm doing. So if it's something that you're wanting to do. And the big thing is you want to do it before the buds break open. So the buds here have not broken. And so we're still on time, and I'm going to do a little bit of pruning, not a heavy prune, just enough that anything I want gone, like major water sprouts, I can spray where I've cut that limb. Okay, that's it. Let me put you guys down and I'm going to get started. So this is one of our apples, a Granny Smith. We lost one over there, but that was just due to a windstorm. We tried to reset it by staking it up and hopefully it would take off. And it just never came back to life. I'm not doing any craziness. Just anything that's not growing in towards the tree. And like I said, major water sprouts we'll take out. Okay, now what's been hard about me ever being able to spray, and I've had intentions on doing it, is you're supposed to do this on a calm day, like preferably 50 degrees. And we never have calm days in Michigan in the spring. It's always windy. Always windy. So it's always felt like a kind of a defeated purpose, trying to get out here and protect these guys. Whoa. Hello.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
How's it going?
Okay, I can't reach the tippy tops, obviously. So I'm just like aiming it like a gun.
Okay.
Thinking if I get a little bit up there, maybe it'll help.
These trees are doing great. How many years ago did we plant this?
8. Well, this will be its 8th growing season, yeah, so 8 years ago. Like, so one spray bottle did 3 trees.
Oh, nice.
So, and I was like doing the trunk all the way down. Because I don't know if this gray stuff is like fungus.
I think that's just lichen or something.
Oh, okay.
Just like moss that grows on trees.
I was just doing it all over just to be safe. Going to work?
Yep.
Love you.
Love you. I'll be back this afternoon.
Alrighty. Have a good day.
Have fun.
Yep.
Enjoy the sun.
Trying. My eyes don't like the wind.
Rainy weekend coming up.
Yeah. I moved the camera and the camera was covered in like blue coppered color stuff, so I hope my face isn't all blue. I think one of those pump sprayers sure would be easier. Fingers get tired after a while doing this. Well, that feels absolutely wonderful to have done. Now we just pray that there's no freeze that will kill the blossoms. That came last year. It came maybe 2 years before that. And it's just something that we struggle with as small orchardist. Is that what you would call us? Small homesteaders that don't have, you know, all the fancy stuff to protect your crops. And we run out there with blankets if that happens and sheets and try to protect it a little bit. But I'm going to get going on boiling up some eggs today. And I got a dozen eggs here. Aren't they just the prettiest? We added a bunch of color to our flock, including the white. You know, white's color for us because it was all just brown eggs. And I tell you what, those Aracanas, I think that's the right pronunciation of those birds, you know, the ones with the puffy cheeks, just lay the prettiest shades of blue, and they're really good egg producers for us. And it's just fun this time of year with Easter right around the corner to have like naturally dyed Easter eggs, just right fresh from the butt. So I should wash this one first, it's a little poopy. And I'm going to boil up some eggs, and we're going to make some, I've been craving tuna fish. Isn't that weird? Tuna fish salad. So it's not really a craving I usually have, but my body must need something fishy. So we're going to make some tuna fish for the week for lunch. You guys were asking in one of the last videos for how I made that like fake cookie dough. So we don't have a sweet treat for the week, so we're going to make some of that up. And what else? Maybe some deviled eggs. And see if I have time or gumption to do anything else today. House is cleanish. Laundry's done, put away, beds are made. So it's my day off. The way my week works now that I'm not working is Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm watch one of my grandchildren from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. Sometimes a little later if Dad's not getting off work in time. And he is 5 months old, going on 6 months old, and well over 20 pounds. He's a chunk. And that day usually... It's one thing when you're a young mom, you know, when you're in your 20s and 30s and you got all that energy and you're pumping out babies and handling them all day. But when you're 50 and you're doing it again, you're like, I love my time with him, but Granny's worn out at the end of the day. And so those evenings, Tuesdays and Thursdays, you know, maybe we'll go piddle or do something, but it's nothing super heavy manual labor intensive. Not yet anyway. And so Mondays, this past Monday, we were at the cabin. If you guys enjoy those videos, head over to Todd and Rachel to watch that. It hasn't been posted yet, so I don't know the sequence of homesteading content versus adventure content for Todd and how he publishes that, but we'll be posting a video over there shortly, if it's not out yet, of our little adventure at the cabin. And so, but I was saying typically for me, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, one of those days I'll get off to see the other new grandbabies. And then whichever mom needs the help that week. And then on another day, it's catch up around here and homesteading and cooking and any kind of cleaning things that need to be done, any kind of Rachel things that need to be done. And then the weekend we have for the real work, especially now that seasons are changing. So I'm going to cook these eggs. I'll be back. We'll make up some tuna fish salad for lunches this week. We'll make up that fake cookie dough. That's pretty darn good. So I'll see you guys back in a bit. So I figure while the eggs are boiling, we absolutely have time to make up the cookie dough recipe. And so let's do that. The ingredients I have is almond flour, peanut butter, vanilla, maple syrup, and chocolate chips. So we're going to go in with 1.5 cups. And I just got out a 1/4 cup measuring cup because that's what I need for a lot of the ingredients. So I don't have too many dishes to do. That's the way my brain works anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1.5 cups of almond flour. You're going to use a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and a 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. And then a teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and that's it. And then when I'm done mixing, I'll show you the yumminess that it looks like. And I think it's best to let it chill. The almond flour really absorbs a lot of the flavor after it sits for a minute. Let's do that. And then we'll do our maple syrup. I had to go get more because mine's just about empty. Didn't tap our maple trees this year. We do it every other year. Just because we only have a handful of trees that we tap and we don't want to overextend them. Our gratefulness for what they give us, so we let them heal for a solid year and then we'll go back and do it again. Did I say 1/2 teaspoon of salt? And when I made this last, I think it was like pushing into the 3rd week. And the way that we like to have it is just come in the evening when we are feeling like we want something sweet, and we grab a little spoonful, and that's our little sweet treat. Last week, getting ready for the cabin video, I made those oatmeal banana peanut butter, like really gluten-free. I think did it have maple syrup in it? It might have had maple syrup a little bit in it. And those were so filling. We thoroughly enjoyed those. Sometimes we would just split one. I made them quite big, but if you took those hiking with you, or, say you made them and you're going to be gone running errands for a while and you're going to need a healthy snack, definitely 10 out of 10 recommend. We said it was kind of like having banana bread without the banana bread. It was so, so yummy. And that was whatever video we just recently put out on prepping for the cabin. We prepped a bunch of food and got the homestead ready and other things. So if you missed that, that's where that little nugget is to go find. And I would say the only thing that gives this away for me, that it's not real cookie dough, is just the texture of the almond flour. It's going to be a little bit more textured than if you enjoyed eating cookie dough, made with flour. But my daughter was home recently from the Navy, and this is what we had in the fridge for a sweet treat. And I gave her a spoon. She goes, "I'd never know it wasn't cookie dough." That's what it looks like. Just good old cookie dough, and you grab a spoon. And it's yummy. And it goes in, I'll just put it in a container in the fridge like that. All right, we're boiling. Oops. Turn it down to low. And I go for 12 minutes once I hit a boil. And that's it. And now, if you are first timers making maple syrup this year, congratulations. Once you've preserved it on your pantry shelf, once you open it, you need to refrigerate it. If you keep it in your pantry, after opening, you can have mold growth. So don't let all that hard work go to waste. So we just keep a little syrup container in our fridge and top it off when we have a new jar. Man, I tell you what, I absolutely am the hugest fan of keeping a well-stocked pantry. Sometimes I think the joy of never having to think about whether or not you have ingredients that you need is so enjoyable. And when I don't have a well-stocked pantry, it's very frustrating because I expect myself to. And so I need to make mayonnaise for the tuna fish salad and deviled eggs if I'm going to make them. And this was the situation of my avocado oil in my main pantry, but I have avocado oil downstairs. I didn't have any more lemon juice up here, but I have 3 bottles in the pantry downstairs. And if you're not doing that and it's within your means too, within space and budget, and you don't have to go big bang right away. Just start out small with the main things that you use. And it's just lovely. I absolutely love just the peace that comes from it. And the things that usually surprise us are spices. Like we'll think we've got a whole quart jar of cinnamon downstairs, and I'll go to get it and we've used it all. So I think spices are the things that usually aren't as well stocked as we would like them to be. Alrighty, so I'm making mayonnaise. I have dedicated videos on this. I'm not going to bore you with it, but the recipe I use is 1 cup of oil, and I use avocado oil, to 1 egg, room temperature, a good gulp of lemon juice, and then I use Amish coleslaw dressing for like that sweet flavored mayo, which some people refuse to call that mayonnaise and call it salad dressing. But I don't really care. It's what we use in this house. If I wanted it more savory, I would just leave the coleslaw dressing out or replace it with Dijon mustard. And so that, I don't put any salt in mine. I know a lot of people do. I go in with about that much coleslaw dressing. Mix. And a glug of, not a big glug, just like an overflowing capful of lemon juice, which just acts as a preservative. And then immersion blend for like 2 minutes. And some people have mentioned to me that their mayo turns out runny or they can never get it thick. Runny could possibly mean that you never got your emulsion to take. And that's when the molecules of the oil in the egg do their thing and create new molecules that is needed for something thick like mayonnaise texture. And I have broken my emulsion before. It'll start out great and then it breaks, and there's no real repairing that once that happens. It's kind of a waste. You might know better, but that's what I know to be true. And if it's not getting thick, you're probably just not using your emulsion blender long enough. So I used to be like that. And then I started, I'm going to turn you guys around because my blender's over here. I started going just a little bit longer, and it really changed the game on how thick I could get it. Okay, when I first start my emulsion blender, I'm going to hold it at the bottom for at least 30 seconds. And then I'll slowly like tip up on it to let more oil in till it's not easily absorbing any more oil from the top. And then I'll slowly raise it. And then I'll go for like another 30 seconds at the end, and it gets really thick. All right, and you're left with super thick mayo. All right, we're time to get going. Doing 2 cans of tuna, some pickles, some eggs, and maybe some chopped apple in my tuna fish. got a lot done with each other today. Thanks for coming with me. And I got these deviled eggs. I'm just putting some paprika on top. And then they'll go in the fridge for Todd and I for the rest of the week. And we got our tuna fish made. That's what I'm having for lunch. I'm having my leftover bit of apple, the egg that fell on the floor. I washed it off, and I'm going to top that with some cowboy candy. And that's my lunch for the day. And I think we may leave this video open-ended for dinner. You guys want to hang out with us for dinner? And Todd will get home, and I've set out all the food yesterday to thaw for the week. For dinner, I think. Yeah, and then we'll see if there's anything else he wants to get into for the day. But anyway, at this point in time in the video, I hope you feel just so amazing about yourself. There is no shame for whatever process you got going on at your house to manage your chaos and your clutter. If you have a garden shed, knuckles to you. And I'm going to go sit down and eat and put all my goodies away.